Grand night, grand night, grand evening. Let's see. Late night microphone check. How we sounding? It sounds good. Sounds good. Sounds good. Okay. Sounds good. So let's go ahead and share our screen. Hold on. Relax. It's coming. Okay. Share. Boom. Make sure I press that. Come on. There we go. All right. So I did press the audio. So yeah, so you guys should hear this. If you can't hear this, press 2. You gotta show us love. No more. No more riding against what lies against us. Show us trust. Yeah, this is really a bop. Talk to the family. Let's go. Policies. Hey, what you gotta do? Uh-huh. No fakers, no liars. No more lies. Gotta show us trust now. You gotta show us love. No more riding with lies against us. No. This is definitely a bot right here. This is waking up, get your day started for work type bot. There you go. You gotta show us love, man. You gotta show us trust. All right, so I have no idea I gotta play around how to end this share screen a little earlier. All right. Hopefully I didn't mess that up. Hopefully the song was heard. All right. Okay. So we had Tether New calling the other day, right? Let me switch. Let me switch. All right. Hopefully, okay, you heard the song. Cool. All right, so Tether New called the other day. Okay. Right when I said we gotta gatekeep black, right? Because there's many slick ways tethers are trying to backdoor themselves into our reparations claim. Also, any allocations, any money, anything, right? They're trying to clout, lineage, legacy, trying to backdoor into all that, right? They want to be part of the glow, right? They want to be part of that glow, that Green Lantern glow, right? So they think backdooring is the way to get it, all right? And I got to get on those fake little like they even try to gatekeep. No, I'm sorry, they're trying to tether onto the Black Panthers now. Now some tether is trying to revive the Black Panthers and make it a defense against ICE, defense for tethers type organization. I mean, these guys are just all over the place. All right. So let me touch on this tether. Let me touch on revenue real fast. Where are you, revenue? Okay. Move. Okay, I think it's right here. I think it's this one. Here's this one. Wrong one. All right. So this is the exact reason why we must gatekeep the word Black. As I'm saying that, Tether New calls in to attach on to Blackness. You can't make this stuff up. Proven the reason why we got to gatekeep Black. Gotta start correcting these guys. When they say they're Black, we gotta, not in a polite way. We could say, hey, in what sense are you Black, sir? Because it damn sure the same sense that we are. Oh, no. I know it ain't sharing. I know it ain't sharing. All right, hold on. I know it ain't sharing. I know the volume ain't sharing. I know. Fuck. How do you? There gotta be a way. That's crazy. That's crazy. I know the volume not sharing for sure. I didn't click. I hate that, man. I share with the phone. This is unnecessary extra step you got to take when you want to share a video and the volume. You got to select. Okay, I got it now. Okay, so now we're sharing. Revenue, you there? Or you sleep? And who else was trying to call in?
Yeah, I've been trying to call in since 2 o'clock. I heard
Yeah,
you
well,
beating your
but you
chest
should know that.
earlier.
Yeah, well, you should know that. Normally in the morning it'd be a restream, so it'd be until I get off work
Okay. I just heard you saying.
at 5.
I just heard you kept saying, if anybody could debunk this, call in now. So I was like, oh, okay, let me call in, see what I could.
Yeah, that's replay. But yeah, so how you doing? So what are you planning on trying to debunk? And who was saying that? Alexa or me?
No, you was playing Chief X
Okay.
earlier. I guess you was Chief X was debating, and I was trying to figure out, are you saying that Black American is an ethnic group? Specifically as an ethnic group?
Yeah, we're ethnic.
Oh, really? I mean,
Yeah.
I've been trying to, you know, I've been asking people on TikTok, like, if they could prove Black Americans an ethnic group, I cash out them 500, but nobody
Yeah.
could
No,
seem to prove it.
yeah. Well, nobody trusts you to send them anything. We know your culture. is known for scamming, but yeah, it's a ethnic group. It's an ethnic group.
Is
I mean,
that's by your definition or the U.S. government's definition?
the U.S. government don't define us. I think we went over this before, and I'm about to throw you off in a second. If we keep doing this little game, the U.S. government don't define anybody. You define yourself. The U.S. government get behind you. For example, we called ourselves black first, and then do you know what year black became? Don't define anybody.
Or the U.S. government's definition?
The U.S. government don't define us. I think we went over this before, and I'm about to throw you off in a second. If we keep doing this little game, the U.S. government don't define anybody. You define yourself. The U.S. government get behind you. For example, we called ourselves black first, and then do you know what year black became on a federal census?
No, I have no
Do you know
clue.
what year? In the 70s. And it was replaced by African American. Now watch this. Jesse Jackson introduced African American in the 1888, 1889. Do you know when African American became federal on the census?
I have no clue.
In 1997. So yeah, you're in the lane and you're asking questions. You don't know what you're talking about. An ethnic group precedes forms. The government respects what people want to call themselves, especially when a large call them something. They get behind it and they put it on forms and do what they do. So
Okay,
yeah, you don't make any sense.
okay, because now I identify as a Black American from Jamaica. I,
Right.
I
Oh
I
yeah.
think
Well,
that's a more
right, right,
fitting
right.
title.
Well, family, there you go. A Black American from Jamaica. So he just bear witness to my talking points. It's like, yo, you guys become black after you get to United States of America, and you're black as a racial category, as a racial group, not as an ethnonym, not tied into our ethnic group. But just off that, that causes confusion. You see him? He identifies as a black American racially, and he admits that, but he knows he doesn't identify one ethnically. So now, if any tangibles, any resources, any laws that do anything for Black Americans, Tethers like him would say, "Hey, aren't I included?" And if somebody tried to explain to him, no, because ethnically you're not Black American, Tethers are going to say, "Wait a minute, what does that mean? I was Black American when I got this resource, that money, this scholarship," and all they're going to do is file hella lawsuits and stall whatever was intended for us. That's why we're getting the language right now. Okay. You're right, Tether New. In this country, on forums, you can blame Jesse Jackson. On forums, a lot of tethers are going to come under Black American, African American as a racial category. Okay. As a racial category, and then guess what? When you have these scholarships, these DEIs, these affirmative action things, they don't specify African American ethnic group. not racial group. They don't specify African American ethnic group over uh racial group. It just say African American. It just say Black American. You see, so it doesn't even specify. That's why, like, that's a loophole that's left out there that no one can deny. And that's why Black American and African American is seen as a dual. It has a dual usage. So that's a way to backdoor these bastards in our business. Okay.
You know, because
Well, yeah.
black is a racial category, and I'm from Jamaica.
I got you right. See, he just said it. He said Black is a racial category, and he's from Jamaica, so he understands it's a racial category, not an ethnic. Let me back up. Well, he understands through me. Obviously, I've been one of the leading voices talking about this over and over and over, and I probably got the only channel that goes this in depth. Okay, even using terms like ethnonym, endonym, exonym, like good luck, demonym, good luck. No other channels using those terms. All right, hold on. Wait, well,
From Jamaica.
they get behind it and they put it on forums and do what they do.
Okay.
So yeah, you don't make any sense.
Okay, because now I identify as a Black American from Jamaica.
Right. Oh
I
yeah.
think
Well,
that's a more fitting
right.
title. You know, because
Well, yeah.
black is a racial category, and I'm from Jamaica.
Racial category. He's from Jamaica, and that's why we say nobody. See, he blended in Black with Jamaica. By the way, he's not called Black officially in no form and no census in Jamaica. All right. Just make that clear. All right. Anyway, which supports my argument. We are Black. We use Black as a standalone ethnonym, nothing tied to it. There's no Black Jamaican. There's no Black Nigerian. There's no Black Sudanese person. No Black Ethiopian. And then should no Black Brazilian. No Black Brit. No Black tether. Just Black. Black people. Black woman. Black man. And this country knows who you're talking about, and the world knows who you're talking about. When you say Black people did this, Black people got harmed this way, people look at America, not Brazil, not Sudan, not Jamaica, not Tether County, Black America only. Okay, so let me just fast forward to the part where I read that when I explained to him Black American and African American are used as that has a dual usage because he was acting like we're not Black American as an ethnic group. You just fast forward. I got you right. Usage. They're racial terms. I got you right. Wait. Well, first of all, your issue is both. Okay, it's a racial category and it's an ethnonym. It's an ethnic group. Okay, now you might be too dumb to realize that, but both Black and African American are both recognized as they have a dual usage. They're racial terms and they're ethnic terms. They're both. It's both. So you couldn't be one ethnically. No, he denied that. So I'll just fact check him real fast. You could only be one racially, and that's why we are doing away with that. We're delineating to get rid of the dual usage word that causes nothing but confusion. Yeah, so
Yeah, that's
right
why
now,
they fixed the U.S.
racially,
Census. That's why they fixed the census. Somali in America.
say this though, these terms, I'm speaking to the family now, the lineage, these a lot of changes. So what's on a form, he listens and it responds. So enough of us are, that's why I said, I was talking about lineage, as long as we put down that lane, left lane, that lane, yes, yeah, like, and petitions reach them, years, 15 years, it all depends on American.
No, I'm Black American.
Racially or ethnically?
Racially, I'm a Black American.
Okay, okay. You're not like us. Either way, you ain't like us.
Yeah, but neither
Okay.
you're not a Black American ethnically either, though. So
okay, I know because a tether says so.
no, not me. Your government, not me.
I know. All right.
I seen you had two videos the other.
We see what you type in there. We've been through this. We know what you type in there, and it has you word it a certain way, and then I have you retype it various and sound like
Not
to
wait,
prove on what? To
not what
prove on
we.
what? No, to prove on what? You didn't even say you're sharing your screen about what? What are you trying
What?
to prove? Go type that. Hey,
I,
Jack the P.
see,
That's what I'm trying to say.
see, now
Like
you
this
asking
guy.
me to to
Yeah, because
to
you're
lead
not ready,
lead
man.
Chat
Okay.
GPT.
No.
The
You're not
simple
ready. No, no.
question would
What?
be,
No. You can't talk over me. You can't talk over. I'm not gonna let you miseducate nobody. Hey, family. One thing you cannot do. What is it? What's going on, man? That's what I'm trying to say.
now you
This
asking
guy.
me
Yeah.
to
I don't know how it left the main screen. I don't know what just happened. Let me get back. I don't know what just happened.
It's what I,
God damn it, man! I didn't even click that. Try to get me flagged. Revenue, you there? Or you sleep? Oh,
I heard
yeah,
you.
they're gonna bring me all the way back here. Don't define anybody. All right, anyway, I ended up reading the source, right? A quick little AI, Gemini, Google search. It could be a Grok, it could be ChatGPT, it doesn't matter. Wikipedia is going to come down and say the same thing, exactly what I said. It's going to say that Black American, African American in this country on census forms, they have a dual uses. They can represent a racial category that is inclusive to anybody. These fucking illegal aliens, these loud cars. So the racial term Black American, African American it serves as a dual lineage. I mean, it serves as a dual usage. It can represent Black Americans from U.S. chattel slavery lineage, or it can also represent anybody of African descent that comes to this country. That's it. Like, that's a fact. All right. So let's get out of there. Let's go. Now, look at this crap right here.
Me with my mother being an American Black woman and my father being a Jamaican man from Jamaica.
Now, now listen to his words. He said his mother is an American Black woman. And then he said his father is Jamaican. So that's very clear. We got it. We understand it. We understand it. Your mom, American Black woman, your dad, Jamaican. Now watch how he flip flop and call his dad Black. Yeah, he just established who his dad is. He said his dad is Black. I'm sorry, goddamn. He said his dad is Jamaican. He said his mom is American Black woman. Okay, there's no confusion. Once he said his dad's Jamaican, we know exactly where his dad is from, what his dad language is, what his culture is, what food they like to eat. And once he said his mom was American Black woman, same thing. We know exactly what landmass she lived at, what country she represent, what her lineage accomplished, what they suffered. We know what language she speaks. We know her culture. We know what food dishes she normally cooks and what she ate growing up. Very clear. Now watch he muddies the water and start to call his his dad what his mom is. I don't know how did you distinguish your dad and your mom from the ethnonyms? Black, he said American Black woman, and then he said Jamaican. These are two separate ethnonyms. And then he gonna forge his dad into the ethnonym of his mom. You can't make this up. Hold on. God damn, man, what's up? This phone be doing me dirty. But yeah, the last time I was live, I dropped this phone. So that's why it's like kind of going crazy.
This is Mayweather's best.
I dropped it in snow. All right. So it's kind of hard to navigate. Okay, it's not letting me look through my shorts. That up. Hopefully the song was heard. All right. Okay, so we had Tether New. Okay, it's not letting. Okay, let me just click anything. Gate. Let's go back. Shit.
and a Jamaican man from Jamaica. That my father's side of the family, me with my mother being an American black woman and my father being a Jamaican man from Jamaica, I can say that my father's side of the family looked at Black Americans a certain way, and they already had.
So keep in mind, he's still delineating, he's still making a distinction between the his Jamaican side and his American black mother side. Okay, he's making a clear distinguish of the two. And then he said his Jamaican side looks at the Black American side a certain way. So now we have a clear distinction between Jamaicans and American Black people. Okay, so there should be no confusion as this conversation goes on.
And a Jamaican man from Jamaica, I can say that my father's side of the family looked at Black Americans a certain way, and they already had in their mind, whether they said it on social media or not. We could sit here and make it seem like it's an illusion, but all other groups of Black people, which we're all Black, we tend to look down on Black Americans. If you go to, they're like, oh, we come out here and this, that, and that. And
You heard that? Then he slipped in everybody's Black. All right, bro. We were going with you. Then he slipped in and said everybody's Black. That's when he lost me. So he said Black side of his mom, Black American. Then he said the Jamaican side, who is not Black. They're Jamaican. And then he said everybody's Black somehow. One more time.
and they already had in their mind, whether they said it on social media or not. We could sit here and make it seem like it's an illusion, but all other groups of Black people, which we're all Black, we tend to look down.
Family, make that make sense. Make that make sense. Oh my God. Make that make sense. The Black American side, mom, Jamaican side, dad's side looks down on Blacks, so Blacks are different from Jamaicans. And then he says, we're all his mom's side now. We're all just Jamaican. I mean, we're all just Black now. Yeah. Can somebody make any sense of that?
Jamaican man from Jamaica. I can say that my mother being an American Black woman and my father being a Jamaican man from Jamaica, I can say that my father's side of the family looked at Black Americans a certain way, and they already had in their mind, whether they said it on social media or not. We could sit here and make it seem like it's an illusion, but all other groups of Black people, which we're all Black, we tend to look down on Black Americans. If you go to
Hold on. So we're all Black now? He just said the Black people from America and the Jamaicans are from Jamaica. Now he's saying we're all Black. So okay, I find this difficult to understand. What separates us from Jamaicans then? Because you can't say, well, you're Black American, you're Blacks in America, and Jamaicans are Blacks in Jamaica. Yeah, but even with that logic, we don't have a different name. We're just Blacks in America. That's our ethnonym, Blacks in America, Black Americans. See, but so how are you Jamaicans? How are you Black in Jamaica? That's not an ethnonym. Am I the only one kind of following this? Like, how? No, you had it right. You are Jamaican, and we're Blacks in America. We're Black Americans, my guy.
Americans a certain way, and they already had in their mind, whether they said it on social media or not. We could sit here and make it seem like it's an illusion, but all other groups of Black people, which we're all Black, we tend to look down on Black Americans. If you go to, they're like, oh, we come out here and this, that, and
So I thank him for being honest. That he's basically preaching to the choir. He's basically preaching to the choir that they look down on us. I don't know how. Like it's a really that terminology is like impossible. You can't look down on people who's above you. You dig? So that statement is like ridiculous. That goes against like science. Like that goes against physics and logic. So they're looking up at us, trying to drag us down. That makes more sense. They're looking at us, trying to drag us down. But you can't look down on us when we're above you. In all anything, any comparable, any positive comparable imaginable. So you definitely can't say you're looking down on us. You're looking up at us, trying to drag us below you somehow, some immoral way. All right, so let me get out of this video and go to the next one. No, let me get out. Let me get out of this one and go to the next one. Matter of fact, let me just run it back one more time.
My mother being an American Black woman and my father being a Jamaican man from Jamaica, I can say that my father's side of the family looked at Black Americans a certain way. And they already had in their mind, whether they said it on social media or not. We could sit here and make it seem like it's an illusion, but all other groups of Black people, which we're all Black, we tend to look down on Black Americans. If you go to, they're like, oh, we come out here and this, that, and that. And you guys are lazy. Y'all don't do shit. Oh, y'all just on welfare, when Black people are not even the most on welfare. This whole mindset of Black people being lazy when we built America.
It's just a way to push this stereotype to give other cultures the green light to be disrespectful towards Black Americans and also not to question the system.
I mean, I don't know where to get the system talk from. Like, hey, now we're getting to some spooky stuff. The big boogeyman, the big white supremacist boogeyman. When they start talking that system stuff, like I stop listening. All right, because now it's a bunch of excuses. Let's give the attackers a bunch of excuses to keep attacking. Right. All right. So I normally check out once they start saying the system and the white man. No. You're grown. Now listen, family. Let's work this out now. Let's work this out. Let's have some counseling. Let's have some therapy. Why are you looking down on us? Okay. Our history, I mean, again, any comparable imaginable in life, we're doing 1,000 times better than any Jamaican in this world. Science, economists, education, money, sports, singing, academia, like just name it. Like our top is better than their top. Okay. So now, with that being said, why do you have this hatred where you think you're looking down? You're looking up. You're not looking down. We're not dumb. You're looking up to bring us down, to look down, but it's not gonna work. But the question is why? Why do they have this mindset that Black Americans we ain't shit? Then you let Rasun tell it and some other tethers, oh, it's the movies, oh, the colonizers, immigration, all excuses to justify why foreign people of African descent hate on us so badly. Okay. Now, then they will say this. They will say, yeah, and FBAs, they throw rocks at tethers. Then I'm waiting for our excuse. They don't give us one. So they make us the attackers. They make us the people without trauma. They make us the people who are not defending or reacting. They make us the aggressor, and we don't have a reason, right? We just hateful people. Now, we don't have that unified position, that thought, that philosophy that these tethers have. We don't have a unified thought, philosophy in any state, any city, any country. So Ross' son was talking about, I mean, it's just sad how we build an argument, or tethers or Pan-Africans build an argument to propose that Black Americans are just degenerate. Like we're just permanent failures and with no excuses. We're the only people who's been chattel slavery, right? After slavery was supposedly illegal. We're the only people who were inbred. We're the only people who went through that slavery, fought for freedom, and then were Jim Crow. And then we're deprived money. Look, deprived from resources, deprived from monies, deprived from programs that could self-help programs. Then the wealth we build up, it was taken from us, physically taken from us. So now you're telling me that these people got no excuse. Like they just, again, that's that Myron Gaines logic. Myron Gaines told Tariq Nasheed, Black Americans got no excuse to be failures. It's like, well, actually, we got the most excuses to be failures. If we're so-called failures, we got the most excuses. That you talking about? White people have no excuses. They've been given everything. They've been on welfare longer than anybody in this country, and tethers are second. But we are the only people to never get assistance. We were the only people who instead had to resist. We have resistance. All right. So anyway,
your own people here knows you.
Let's get back to. Let me unshare my screen to share. Can I? I could just keep it going. I could just keep it going. So now I want to pick up where I left off at with Tariq Nasheed. When
we have to hate.
So what I'm saying is this gatekeeping thing, this gatekeeping movement we're doing with the word black. As you can see, this is their way to backdoor. And like this might have been the ultimate finesse the whole time. More than anything else, is allowing them to say they're black. As long as they say they're black, family, they're going to be able to tag on and tether on anything that's ours. Even like some stuff like just like anything LeBron does, they get to tether on. It could be sports or music wise. They get to say that's us. That's them too. And when Burner Boy or some reggaeton dude excels, that person is not also attached to Black American, right? So we don't get to get credit for the Rastas or the Jamaican artists, Jamaican track runners. Nope. They can only tether onto our success. Okay. So we got to make this message loud and plain and listen to Tariq's show where a black guy was allowed to call himself black a tether was allowed to call himself black with a little bit of pushback, but look how confusing he made the show as a
On
result.
people for giving an accurate description of themselves.
Well, first off, it's
I'm
not a
going to say
hate.
one more
It's
statement,
not a hate
and
speech.
then I'll let you respond because you know
Okay.
you made some good points about delineation. If you are the person delineating, you have the responsibility to delineate your language. If this has been the broad descriptor and now all of a sudden there is a delineation happening, great. I'm happy for you. You, as the person delineating, have the responsibility now to pull yourself out from the broad general description of black folk, black people that has been used since the 1500s. And
Okay, so family, I would love to talk to this tether. So keep in mind what he's saying. He said descriptor. He said the broad descriptor. He's saying black. When he says 1500s, he's saying black as an adjective, as an exonym. That's even more important. Family, I will run circles around this damn tether. I will run circles around this tether. His name is Free something. If somebody can give me this dude's name, I probably won't see it because I'm sharing my screen. I'm using my phone. I'm doing my late walk, making some late runs, trying to get tired. I'm getting better though. I'm getting tired again because at one point I wasn't even sleeping. Okay, so I'm getting some sleep now. So these walks are working. Now it's like 9 degrees though, but it's working. My last walk, I dropped my damn. Oh man, couldn't find it. Came back, screen cracked. Damn car ran it over. It's in the middle of the street. So my phone is almost done. But yeah, so he said a broad descriptor. So he believes that we're using black like he believes that we're borrowing black from our oppressors and their colonizers when he was calling everybody black because they were dark. That's why he said broad descriptors. Like, yo, excuse me, we're not using capital B black. And matter of fact, nobody's calling themselves. Look, even that argument, nobody is calling themselves black as an adjective. Nobody, everybody's calling themselves after their country or tribe. So even with that argument, I could beat them on that one. Bro, your country is not called black, even as a descriptor. The only people who's taken on black as a descriptor, as an exonym, are the Sudanese people to a small degree, as an exonym. Okay, that's not my argument. My argument is we're the only people who named ourselves black and defined it and are using it as an endonym. No outsider gave us our blackness and no outsider defined it. We defined it. That's why we said black is beautiful. No oppressor would say black is beautiful. We said we're black and proud. No oppressor would say, yeah, black is equivalent to proudness. And no oppressor would say black equals empowerment. You dig? We say we're black and power, black power. So we tie black into greatness. That's what we did with the word black. The oppressor tied black into inferiority. Okay, as an adjective. Our black has a capital B. Go look it up, family. Don't listen to my voice because Rasun says he's not sharing the screen, so it must be false. No, fool. I am sharing my screen, by the way. But I don't need to share my screen on things people can type in real fast in 15 seconds to get an answer. Type is black used as a proper noun in America. You're gonna get yes. Emphatically less. Type is African American or Black American used as it has a dual usage when it's describing race and ethnicity. I'm telling you guys, I don't got to share nothing. You guys can do it. These are established facts. It's not like groundbreaking. Oh no, share your screen. No, you're an old fool. That's what you guys do. Sure. Yo, cat means a little kitten. Look, I'm gonna share my screen. Red, the color red is the color of a stop sign. Look, I'm gonna share my screen. No, fool. Like, damn, y'all must got a lot of thieves over there, a bunch of liars, where you gotta share your screen over anything, any goofy thing. No, we don't do that. Anyway, I quote him. He said, broad descriptor since the 1500s. He's talking about black as an exonym when Europeans and Arabs is calling everybody black as a derogatory term. Dude, we didn't take the word black from an oppressor, colonizer, or an Arab, my guy.
And now put that, you as the person delineating have the responsibility now to pull yourself out from the broad general description of black folk, black people that has been used since the 1500s, and now put that modifier on it, foundational. Now, if somebody who is now foundational black American now uses that modifier, then you can say that they're being a fraud. But you can't tell somebody that they're a fraud for using an accurate description of who they are. There's no nefarious motives there. If you say, I am an American citizen, therefore I'm an American. I am of sub-Saharan African descent, therefore I am black. And 99% of the world sees me that way, therefore I am black.
Gotcha. So here's the thing, right? You take a look at, and I'm glad you said that because I'm going to show you how deceptive it actually is. You take a look at Byron Donalds. He says he's Black American. Now, you know, people in this country refer to themselves as Black American. It's been our thing since forever. I can literally go all the way back to however, and you can see we refer to ourselves as Black. Byron Donalds was asked about reparations on the Breakfast Club, and he said he doesn't support it because his mom wouldn't get it. Well, all of a sudden, he mentions her, her lineage being not of Black Americans. Now, he didn't say foundational. He just said Black Americans. He's a Black Americans wouldn't get it. No, he's talking about his people. And it's deceptive because they know the difference. Because before delineation movement happened, you guys weren't referring to yourselves as Black American. You
Right.
guys were referring to yourself as whatever country you were from. It was, matter of fact, the famous line from you people was, I'm not Black, I'm X, Y, and Z.
Let me add to that, family. You can't come to this country Ethiopian, Sudanese, because when they come to this country, family, they're identified as somebody from a place, from a country, from a tribe. Okay. They are coming over here, especially legally. They're coming over here. They identify as Nigerian refugee, Ethiopian refugee, Jamaican fleer, Nigerian scammer, but whatever. But they're identified by their homeland. So how do you come to our country as Nigerian, Jamaican, Trinidadian, Brazilian, and then automatically poof, you're Black American? No. And this is why they hate the F. Because technically, racially, as a racial category, they are Black American. They are African American. And this is why they hate the F. That Wheezy F baby says, yeah, on a form, you can check this box. We know you're not, but on a form, you can backdoor your way. So we know they're not physically one of us, obviously. But we're saying that because they're allowed to check this box, they're allowed to siphon out was set aside for us, was duly ours. They're able to siphon it out if they check this box. So we obviously know you're not physically one of us. You didn't go through a physical U.S. chattel slavery lineage. We don't understand that. We're not playing semantics here. We're saying we don't want you checking that. We don't want you to have the ability to check that box. So here comes the Wheezy F baby. So the Wheezy F baby said, yeah, census forms. They did some slick shit behind our back because at that point there was not a lot of y'all here to make a big deal. Now y'all here in the millions, be like, ho, 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 Santa Claus, ho, 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 hold on. No, Wheezy F, baby. So yeah, so write all that stuff over, everything that was supposedly set aside or designed, allocated for Black Americans with the U.S. chattel slavery lineage. Okay, well now you're gonna put that under words foundational Black American. You're gonna put that under letters FBA. That Black American trick is gone. We see it is gone. Okay. So that's the thing. That's why they hate the F baby, because legally in this country, they're able to put down Black American and it's not fraudulent. But now, when the wording is right and that Wheezy F baby is there, F like Frank, if that we like football, if that Wheezy F baby is there and they select FBA, Foundation Black Americans, now it's fraud. And you know they come over here, they commit fraud, they gotta get deported. You see, so this is why they fight over, not fight over, this is why they fight against the F in front of BA, Foundation of Black Americans. That's the reason why.
I'm not black. I'm this, that, the other, right?
Yeah, you would
We're
have to
not
give me
regular. We are.
specific,
I'm.
consistent.
I gave
Dude,
you specific.
hold on. On my broadcast earlier, I read an excerpt from a book from 1963 called The Negro Digest. West Indians were doing that shit in the 60s. In the 1960s, I'm gonna unmute you guys, but yeah, they've been doing that since the 60s. I
West
read that on
Indian
my broadcast
Digest. I'm gonna
earlier,
look that up.
line by line. You had West Indians in New York saying, hey, don't refer to me as an American Negro. I'm Trinidadian. I'm Jamaican. I don't want to be called an American Negro. They were going out of their way to not be labeled as us, and they've been doing that. Everybody tries to deny this now. You have people who pulls up tweets of Caribbeans, Nigerians. I ain't black, I'm Nigerian. I ain't black, I'm Ghanaian. I'm not black, I'm Jamaican. I used to hear girls tell me that shit in clubs when I was dating back in the 90s. Oh, I'm not black, I'm Dominican. I'm not black, I'm Belizean. So yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, so family, that's why I can't wait to get my hands on that dude free. I'm trying to find out who he is so badly. I hope he called back. I wish Tariq would have said his whole name. Cause I try to use that on like social media, Twitter, TikTok, social Instagram, and 1,000 names, 1,000 people came up, 1,000 accounts came up. So that wasn't really much I can do there.
All right, that's the thing.
I had a chick tell me I'm
Tariq, would
not
you
black at
agree? Would
all.
you
I'm
agree
X,
with
Y,
me?
and
Would
Z.
you at least concede the point that there was a point in this country where quote unquote foundational Black Americans were calling themselves, they didn't want to be called Black, they wanted to be called African American.
No,
Would you at least
no,
No,
that was a
that never
marketing
happened?
campaign.
That
That was
no,
a
never
marketing
happened?
campaign.
no,
Literally,
that was forced on us by Jesse Jackson and the Democrats.
Wait a minute, Jesse Jackson is a black man. He's a foundational Black American.
he's a
No,
So
huge
there was at
person.
least a movement in this country of people who went. So you're telling
no,
me that you can pick out an example from of a few people in the 60s who said, I don't want to be called this. And you're
Not a
using that
few.
to say that they are not this. When in fact, if they are an American citizen, they're American. If they are
Hold, hold,
sub-Saharan
hold on, no. Let's clear that up. Jesse Jackson and the Congressional Black Caucus and the Democrats had a press conference one day in 1988 and said, hey, look, we're going to be African Americans now. And we're like, huh? What? They just kind of threw that on us. That came from the top. And they said, yep, we're African American now. Then all of a sudden, it was on the census forms and all the other forms and all the other documents. Yeah, there was no grassroots meeting for that at all. Nobody in the Black community got together and made a vote, put in their bid or nothing. That was something that came from the top. So let's be very clear on that. All right, we'll go ahead.
And let me just say this, and I'm gonna drop real quick because there's people on stage. This is precisely why we have to delineate, because our as Black Americans, we are very generous and we want to help everybody. We have been the world's freedom fighters, and we like to show solidarity and unity. No, we didn't want this term, but it was forced upon us. And
Yes.
since we are a people who like to fight freedom, it's like, oh, you know what, whatever. But
All
there
right.
are plenty of elders who roundly reject that to this day. My mom, if you call her African American person, I'm not from Africa. Stop saying that, son. And I used to be so like, why you saying that? We not from Africa. And she tell me the roots, and I'm like, okay, whatever. And I never really pushed back on it because she's right. And I'm like, well, it's just a form of solidarity. I even knew that even before it was a thing. But see, since that unifier thing that we try to do, look at how
Good.
they're trying to keep latching on to the movement. Like, yo, we not, y'all are not us. You guys know that. And anytime from a spelling bee competition to winning Miss Pat, they let it be known that they're not us. So this whole Black American thing is a term.
Yeah, I try to tell you. I tried to tell you. If you call a Black person, Mike, yeah, look at it. This is, yeah, yeah. I it must have felt my pocket. I definitely felt my pocket because there's sidewalks were snowed, so I was walking the streets, so I didn't want to fall and shit. And then I heard my thing disconnect. Yeah. Way over there by almost by Family Dollar, bro. So I walked all the way back from there. And I came back and found it again. I heard it connect and it, like that. Cars ran it over, man. But it still worked, but it's garbage. Oh yeah, that's crazy because that was not part of the budget. Oh yeah. So I was saying that the average Black American, if you call them an African, they would be highly offended. And I would say more so if that Black American, that foundation Black American is a woman. She, I would say she would be more offended if you called a Black woman an African over a Black man. I'm telling you, and how I know that because I'm a Black American. And if you want to piss one of your relatives off, want to piss your girlfriend off, your aunt, your mom, call them African. Like, sit your African ass down. They're like, who you calling African? I ain't musty. They did something like that. I don't eat mud cakes. I don't eat mud cakes. Like they will correct you so fast. Why you call me African? They stink. You know, they on some bullshit. They be scamming. You trying to call me a scammer? And that's what we low key mean when we call them African. We're saying that. Like you're a scammer, you eat mud cakes, you tethering somewhere, you're a fleer. But yeah, man, the average foundation Black American woman will be highly offended if you call her an African. And that's why I think that was Dan who says his aunt is like, hey, shut that up, little boy. Or I smack your lips off. Don't you call me no damn scammer, no musty scammer.
They've been roundly rejecting since the 60s, not just in the 60s. There's papers. I tweeted on my page, shout out to President Hotep Dukes. He literally posted an article from 1927 where the ancestors were warning us to actively avoid Pan-Africanism
Not for me.
because of this reason right here. And 100 years later, you got people who don't have our best interests at heart trying to latch onto our movements like Byron Donalds to speak for us. Because the first thing he says, well, I'm a Black American, this, that, the other. But anytime a Black issue rises, he lets it be known that he's not Black American. He is
Yeah.
X, Y, and Z. His parents are from X, Y, and Z. So that's the problem, man. You know it too.
But
You're being
Daniel, my question for you is you're giving the Byron Daniels example, and he has a difference of opinion. I don't understand this idea that Black people, and I'm using the broad term, Black people are supposed to be a
There's no such
monolith in the
thing
way
as
that
a broad term black people. They got to be corrected. They got to be stopped. Family, we got to stop them. All right. So last night I was checking Tariq. I woke up at 3 a.m. and I was checking Tariq Nasheed, live feeds. I was checking anybody who's foundational lives on TikTok, and nobody was live on TikTok. They're talking about foundational Black American things. But this has pissed me off so bad that I was like, you know what? I got to stop this. I got to stop this. Black people abroad. What are you talking about, man? Abroad America, that's about it. 50 states.
we think and approach
I'll
these
explain to you
issues.
why. I'll explain to you why, because other people want to speak, and I don't want to hog the stage. Byron Donalds is not just a nobody on the street. Byron Donalds is a man from New York City, was born in New York City, and he moved to Florida, and he speaks not just openly. He speaks in an official capacity for Black people. He literally uses that. He might be the next governor of Florida. So this is the problem. We have picked people from your group who pretend to be us, who speak for us, but not in the best interest of us, if that makes any sense.
No, it
He
doesn't,
So
ain't gonna be the
because
here's
next
you're saying that he's
governor
pretending to
if
be
he
black when
Democrat.
in
I say that
fact he
much.
is black. You're saying he's pretending to be American when in fact he is American. He is not saying that he's a foundational Black American, nor has he put
he
out that.
openly spoke about the Black struggles in America, and the lady had to remind him that if he was in America during the era he was talking about, he wouldn't be able to have his white wife. And he was like, "Oh shit!" He got like dumbfounded.
Okay, but
So they don't
you
even
you
know the
disagree with his
history.
point of view, but that has nothing to do with whether or not he's actually black.
It's not necessarily his point of view. You're willfully missing the point. What I'm saying is he speaks on our history. He literally said that Black Americans were doing great during the Jim Crow era, and the lady had to remind him that he would not be able to have his white wife during the era, and he looked at stupid because he doesn't know or care about our history. His goal is to shield for his Republicans because they're out there. He's a blackface Republican. He's out there to shield for them. He's there to push their agenda under the guise of being Black American. And that is the reason why we delineate, because we're letting everybody know he doesn't speak for us. That's the
I
whole
mean, that's
point of this.
fine,
Even
but
right
he's
now, he
entitled to
don't
his
speak
point
for
of
us.
view. That's the thing. What I'm not.
You're not catching what I'm
Well,
saying on purpose. I'm not
let me
telling you he's
clarify
not
so I
entitled to his
can
point of view. I'm saying
make sure that we're on
he
the
should
same
clarify
page.
that he's not from our lineage. He should
Okay,
clarify that.
whether he is from your lineage or not,
Hmm.
he is an American citizen. He has the same number of votes that you have. He has the same voice that you have. Therefore, if he is able to move himself in a position of power, his opinion does matter, whether you like his opinion or not. And by the way,
That's not the argument. That's not the
he's
argument. You're
black,
literally missing what I'm
whether
saying.
or not.
Yeah, family. I was pausing. I was trying to pause the video. Like I said, my phone is so cracked that I can't even like maneuver through the screen. But I was trying to pause it. Like he didn't change the whole conversation. Nobody said his word. Nobody said his vote didn't count. Nobody said he don't have a mouth that should be taken seriously in America. Nobody said that. Just saying, yo, he's not Black American. So stop speaking as though you represent Black Americans, Foundation Black Americans. At that, that's all these we're trying to say. But family, their tethered comprehensions just go somewhere else.
He shares your
That's not the
FBA
argument. The
lineage.
argument isn't that his opinion doesn't matter. The argument is he shouldn't pretend like his opinion reflects ours because he's not us. That's the point. I never said anything about his opinion not mattering.
I don't think
All I said
anybody
was
who's any black person who is not with
he
reparations
cannot speak for our
would
lineage, is what
say
I'm
that
telling you.
his. Well, let me just say this: I don't think any black person who is not with reparations would try to pass off and say like, "Oh yeah, all black people agree with me."
He
That is
literally
a
said those
well-known
exact words on a
minority
breakfast
opinion
show. What you talking about?
amongst black folk. So I don't
Did you
see any
watch the interview?
nefariousness going on there. I don't see
Did you
any
watch it?
hiding.
Did you watch the interview?
What with Byron Donalds?
Yes.
I probably did. I probably did.
It's obviously you didn't, but you know what you're doing? You're still trying to cape for him. See, this is what I'm saying. This is the level. This is the level.
I'm not a Byron Donalds guy
Listen, listen,
at all,
listen.
but for different
And
reasons
and
than
that
you.
makes it 10 times worse. Because
God damn, this phone is killing me. Yeah, but you see that he didn't watch nothing about the guy, but he's about to lie for him and misrepresent what he was saying and what he did. And so, as you can see, they still have a union, even though he most likely it sounds like something to do. Byron might be a Republican, especially if he's saying he might be the next governor of Florida. But even in that, and the tether is probably most likely a Democrat. So if that's true, even when he disagree with him politically, potentially, he still is justifying his actions because that tether's got that much in common. They will definitely justify each other dirty habits, dirty talking points.
Because you didn't even listen to the interview. He literally said he literally spoke for black people. Oh, a lot of black people wouldn't get it. What are we talking about here?
No, you're saying two different things. You're saying he spoke for all black people. He made an observation.
What I'm saying is he's
Yeah,
pretend
this
like
phone is
he
terrible.
speaks for us, and he
Let me
does
just make
not.
this statement, and you can tell me whether you agree with it or not. You saying that he spoke for black people. Nowhere in the statement that you gave did he speak for black people. He
Did
made an
you listen
observation.
to
He
what
made
he
an
said? Did you listen to the interview?
oh, let me just get this out. Let me just land this. He made an opinionated observation about a historical period of time in which black folk in this country existed. You could agree or disagree. That's not speaking for black people. That's speaking about black people.
Yeah,
And it
but
doesn't
if it's
change his
wrong, shut
blackness
up.
one bit for him to take a look at the historical record and say, based on the data, I believe this. That's not
What the
speaking for
data?
black people. How is that speaking for black people?
He was asked about black people in America.
And he can answer. White people are asked about black people in America all the time.
Yeah,
They
and
get
they
to answer, and
racist.
they're not speaking for black people.
Oh
So
my
that
And the
God.
man can
first thing,
answer a question if a white man can answer the same question.
and the first thing that they say is they're not black. And the first thing other people say is they're not black. They can't speak for us. And a matter of
Right.
fact,
White folks
actually,
would say that.
a lot
White
of
folks
white
would say
people
they can't speak.
actively
They definitely
avoid
would say that.
speaking on that time period for
Right.
this
White
very
folks
reason.
would
I'm not going to
definitely say
hide
they
from
can't
speaking
speak for
about
us.
white people, although I'm not white. I can
We know
speak on
because
China.
we've
I
allowed
can.
you guys to come into the culture and kind of feel like you're at home, like you just said that you guys are part
There's
of our
no
culture. And this
allowing.
is
There's
why
no
delineation is
allowing. This is
important.
a gumbo pot at this point, man. Like
No, it's
everything.
White
not.
people don't want to speak on the topic, and that is why they allow the tethers to speak on the topic.
Yeah, I wish I could have
Go
called
ahead, bro.
in. Damn, man.
That's a fact.
Mhm.
I just wanted to add because you spoke about
This damn Cali time, man.
the Essence Festival, and as a New Yorker, a matter of fact, a Brooklynite to be specific, I have gone to the Labor Day parade often, many times. If I went to the Labor Day parade and tried to make it about jazz and R&B, y'all would have a problem. When I go to the parade, I'm already knowing I'm going to hear soca music all day, not even all types of Caribbean music, just soca, because that is carnival music. I don't go there trying to change, telling them to put on different music, to put on Stephanie Mills
How about put
or
on some
Patti
damn clothes?
LaBelle. Or Coltrane. I don't go there telling them that that's what they should do. I go, I enjoy myself, and if I want to hear other music, I go to a different venue. This is the problem. The same respect is not being shown to us. And in addition to it, the same respect not being shown to us, you guys are in our country. You would never, ever allow us to come to your country and co-opt your carnival. Whatever country you're from, whatever carnival day y'all celebrate, or your Independence Day. Let's bring Juneteenth into it. You would not allow us to come to
Come on, I'm
your
trying to pause
country
the
and
video.
make
Stop.
your Independence Day
God
about Black
damn.
Americans. You would not allow us to come to
I'm trying to pause the video, but this crack phone. Hey man, dollar, what's it? My Cash App, $, unbiased Ron. You dig? All right. But anyway, I'm trying to pause the video, it won't stop. I was one of the first people to break that the West Indians stole carnival from white people. Yes, they did. I think it was the Catholic Church. Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. But I do know for a fact that whatever white people that were there, they're colonizers. I could have sworn it was the Catholic, but whoever was there, when they left, the West Indian people used to mock. They used to mock Europeans doing carnival. They used to mock them. It's 100% fact. Look it up. Look it up. Stop being lazy. Look this shit up. They stole it from Europeans. They would the West Indian people used to do it as mockery. They were mocking the Europeans during the European carnival. I could have swore it was the Catholics. I can't read the chat. I'm sharing my screen. So if that's true, then you know. But they definitely stole it from Europeans as mocking them, and then they end up keeping it. They end up keeping it. So carnival is not even theirs. So how you keep something that ain't even yours.
Your country and make your carnival days about jazz. You would not allow that, nor should you. And that is why we are not allowing it here. And on that note, I'll drop down.
Thank you, beloved.
And I'll respond to that real quickly.
Go
Just
ahead,
real
brother.
quick. I mean, it's either you're a capitalist or not. At the end of the day, if you buy something, if you own something, it's yours to do with what you wish. I don't know the name of the guy that owns Essence, but he bought it. All right. So if you didn't buy it, if you didn't put in on this, you don't really you can complain. Complaining is always an option for everyone. We are Americans. We love to complain. We can
This dude
complain.
is
That's
the
what we can
tether.
do. But at the end of the day,
He's the
if
tether
someone feels
explainer.
that they can broaden the scope and the audience of something, and by the way, they might be wrong. They could fail miserably. That's the other side of capitalism. But if you put your money into something,
But you
you
have
get
the
to run
right
it
to say something
however
too, though.
you please. People
And
can
the
cry about it if they want, but you can run it.
it's to give the feedback however they please. So stop
Right.
complaining. If that's the
Right.
mindset that you're going to
Dummy.
get Essence and
Every
tether it
action
up
comes
and
with a
come
reaction, comes with
and
consequences and
joel off it
accountability.
up, the audience has a right to say, hey, this is some bullshit.
Right.
So y'all don't act shocked, because that's the reaction now. Essence is a brand and it means something. They bought it because Essence is a brand and it means something. It has an audience with it. They got that audience and now they want to flip it and do something else with it and cater to an audience that's not really a big money making audience. That's not an audience that's going to get anything popping, catering to the non-FBA audience. A lot of people are like, okay, if you want to do that, change the name of Essence. Call that shit the Egusi Fest. Call it something else if you're not going to abide by the spirit of Essence and what it means, especially in New Orleans. Don't go down to New Orleans and try to tether it up.
Well,
Because
Tariq,
that's
if you're right, then they'll fail, and the market will do what the market does. I mean, Playboy doesn't have naked women in it
Look at
anymore,
this fake
right? That
capitalist.
might be a mistake. If the history of Playboy was naked women, that might be a mistake for Playboy. It's whoever owns it is theirs to do with what they please. The market will speak. I have no issue with the market speaking, but you can't assign nefarious purposes to somebody spending their own
But it is
money
nefarious,
and
stupid.
doing
What you
what they
think?
want to do with the thing that they bought. And by the way, if you look back at the history of Essence magazine, if we want to now delineate, now we delineating, Essence has used Africa and Pan-Africanism all throughout the history of
That ain't the
Essence
sole
magazine.
reason
Look at
why
some
we're
of them old
delineating,
covers
Tether.
from the 1970s with the old African print colors on the word Essence. You can Google that, you can look that up. So don't act like it's just one-sided. Everybody uses everybody because this is a capitalist market,
Hey, this guy.
and people go for what they feel.
But no, Essence giving some shout outs to African culture. That's not using, that's giving. You don't need that. Africans are not the subscriber list of damn Essence. Let's be very clear. Essence is a foundational Black American institution. We all grew up on Essence. So we've always extended love and respect and acknowledgement to African culture, but things were centered on foundational Black American culture. So we've always centered, thrown some respect, but it's not dependent. It's not no equal thing. Now let's get off that. It was never equal. Let me get Great Black Shark in here. Great Black Shark, hop on.
I wish I could have called in on this guy, man.
Salute to you, brother. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I'll be brief. Brother Free, I want you to listen very carefully to what I'm about to say to you, sir, respectfully, without interruption. So perhaps this will shed some light on some things you seem to be confused about, brother. As foundational Black American freedmen, and any people for that matter, but we're talking about our lineage, the mark of an intelligent and responsible people is to not repeat doing the same thing and expecting different results, which is the definition of insanity. So whether it's Jesse Jackson or any of our respected elders that might have acted in good faith at that time, based off what they believed and how they saw society at that time, those of us that come after them, it is our responsibility and right to course correct the things that we see that have not worked for our people. When we have the greater majority of the Congressional Black Caucus, a lot of tethers that are trying to undermine us, they speak against our reparations. They don't speak up for us to get protections when these white supremacists harm us. And see, this is the problem why we don't have people outside of our lineage representing us, because here's the thing. You can look like us, you can try to adapt to our culture, emulate it, but if you don't have the same mindset against white supremacy as us and you try to assimilate into it, you become a hindrance to us and you're trying to willfully undermine us. And the last point I want to make, I want to build on what Brother Daniel and Sister Brooke were saying. If any of us went to any African nation, out of the 54 nations over there, or any Caribbean country, and it's something that the Caribbean or continental African people were trying to advocate for in their society, for their people, and we came over there as foreigners,
none of that.
immigrants, saying,
He got the
hey,
spirit of revenue.
I'm black, I don't think you should get this XYZ, they would be rightfully upset and would kick us out of there. So it's not even a matter of opinion. We don't care who doesn't like it. Delineation is what's best and responsible for our people. We have serious business to take care of as far as getting our cash payment reparations and anti-black hate crime bill. And when we're trying to handle business, we are not concerned with or worrying about who has a difference of opinion or whose feelings are hurt. We're going to do what's best for our people. With that said, our land.
I mean,
Delineation goes both ways. So if you can delineate, then that person who is an American citizen who has a vote and who happens to be black but whose parents or who came from another country, they can delineate their opinion away. They can delineate their vote away from things that you are interested in. It does not change the fact that they are black. It does not change the fact that they are American. It changes that they are not foundational black Americans. But if you can delineate away that way, they can delineate their vote away. And by the way, instead of being upset that they've delineated their vote away, you could try consensus building, because at the end of the day, none of these things that you want to get done are going to get done on your own. White folk are not lining up for reparations. And if you can't even get people who look kind of like you on board with this thing, then all of this is what.
Bruh, tethers have been the main ones stepping in front of our damn reparations, brother. Y'all not gonna do that. We've been having to fight tethers with this reparations thing on the task force all around the country. They put these tethers on here, crashing the shit out, man. Even when they had that little janky reparations hearing a few years ago, who they put up there? That Cruz guy, Coleman Hughes, who's Puerto Rican, who's not even qualified for reparations. He's up there talking about, we don't need no reparations.
Right,
we need to leave these white people alone. And they had Candace Owens up there, again, who identifies as Caribbean. Oh, we need to leave these white people alone.
Dual allegiance.
So it's always been the tethers acting as the buffer classes that they put up here to crash out our reparations. So that ain't it. This is why we're delineating.
Tariq, you're not building consensus. And if you want to get anything done in this country, I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, Italian, African, doesn't matter. You have to build consensus. Nobody gets anything done on their own. And you are hustling
down. Oh, we made the Democrats crash and burn on our own. Oh, we did that. We made them crash and burn on our own. We did that, and they know it. So we can get things done on our own. We got to get rid of the dead weight around us. That's why delineation is so damn important. Let's get our sister Love I Am in here to chime in. Love I Am.
Hey, Tariq, thank you for allowing me to speak. And I'm going to ask that Free not interrupt me, because I just hope it doesn't go in that direction.
No, he's
okay, cool. So I was going to say now, first of all,
his free name.
His position within this conversation is extremely disingenuous, to the point that I would like to append a negative motivation to it, but I'm going to refrain from doing so. The reason why I'm saying this is because African and Caribbean people, they only have delineation is their only frame of reference. The African continent is delineated. That's literally their only frame of reference. That's why they came to America and they told us they were not black, because that was their refusal to deculturalize themselves into this flat identity that does not serve them. And I was so their only frame of reference is delineation. Black Americans had zero frame of reference that these individuals did not identify as Black until
Can
they
I
came here
pause
and
it? Can
told
I
us
pause it?
that.
Can I pause
That
it?
is the only way we would have known that they
Can I
didn't
pause the
identify as
video?
Black. So fast forward to today when they're persisting to be Black,
Can I
and we
pause the
can
video,
literally
phone?
remember in the most yesterday
No.
there was somebody denying that they are not Black.
Mm-hmm.
So that's their only frame of reference is delineation.
Can I
They are
pause the video,
delineated by
phone?
tribe.
No.
They're delineated by bloodline,
Yeah, I can't
ethnic
pause the
group,
video for shit.
nationality, all of those things. That's their only frame of reference when they come here. That's why they corrected us for decades. So that's fake. Number two, Black American, the term Black was
Really?
a status that was given to our lineage that was forcefully
Wow.
deculturalized as a result of our captivity. So no other group has had that identity forced on them and been stripped
I
of a
can't
former
pause this for
identity
nothing.
that has
Here we go. God
lineage
damn.
that was
Oh, never mind.
forcefully deculturalized.
Yeah, I can't. This crash screen will let me pause this for nothing. All right, anyway. Family. Don't they say Black Americans have no culture? We don't have a language. We don't have all this stuff. So why the hell would an African booty scratcher call himself Black? They really believe they have something we don't have. They really believe we don't have culture, and they do. Because they got some African booty scratcher stuff going on. Why would they call themselves Black when they see Black as something taboo? They see something Black as bad, cultureless. Why would they call themselves Black? Why would the islands call themselves Black when they call us Yankee, Akata slave, the Blacks? Why would they voluntarily be a Yankee and Akata? All these derogatory, lazy, Black people are lazy, right? So why would they call themselves Black? Now they call themselves lazy. We got to stop, man.
As a result of our captivity. So no other group has had that identity forced on them and been stripped of a former identity. That has only happened to us. With that being said, these people are coming in and self-identifying that way. So that is why when specificity matters, they provide it. These people have zero replicable model of success. So I take issue with free in any area. So issue saying you need to reach a consensus on. You don't even have enough melanated immigrants to reach a consensus on everything. That's why you get your ass in front of our collective and try to convince us of a
Right.
thing.
It's a
You
couple
don't
million
even
of
have
them.
the numbers to reach a consensus. You come to us to arrive at your consensus.
Right.
And now you have an issue that there's a disparity between what we're promoting and what you're promoting. And we're going to reach a consensus with our collective because it's our collective, not yours. How can you come to a space, sit at the top of the space, and no one in this space cares about anything you have to say, quite frankly, and you think that you have just as much of an equitable contribution as the Black Americans in this space? That is very weird. What you're not going to do is fill up a room with your own melanated immigrants and reach a consensus because you'd have no impact there. You have no impact there. You're not going to go in a group of melanated immigrants and say, hey, let's undermine the Black Americans. Hey, let's go against what they got going on. No, you're going to bring your vagabond asses around us and try to reach your consensus amongst us. And the only issue with that is that, again, you have no area where you have been successful. So when we identify other groups that have a replicable model of success that we can follow, such as the Asians, who have a delineation bill, who literally said we are being erroneously identified as a single homogenous group and we're represented by 30 nations, and we need that level of specificity in order to address the disparities that exist within this race construct. We're gonna do what they did, okay? Because they're successful and you're not. So that's why we're not going to do what you suggest
That
to
was a
do.
great point.
And you're not going to use our spaces to reach your
I might steal that
consensus
one.
anymore. We want to
Hey,
expunge.
Tariq, am I
See,
am I
I'm
disrespecting
not
your
done
space?
yet. I knew this was going to happen. We want to
I mean, you on a
expunge.
diatribe right now. I'm
It
asking the
doesn't
person
Don't
matter.
right
matter,
now.
It
Can they
bro.
doesn't
respond?
matter.
You're
I'm speaking
visiting.
to
You're
the
tethered,
edification
man.
of my own people. That's my point. So what I'm saying has a greater value than
That shit
what
was,
you're
yeah, that was
saying.
hurting him.
You're just a
Okay.
Caribbean with an opinion on Black American perspective.
No, I'm an American with an opinion. I vote.
Anything that I think about
I can't stand
contributes
him,
to the
man.
Black American consciousness, to the
Can't
Black
stand
American
him.
perspective, and I'm edifying my own people. That's the difference. And that's where that boundary has to be created, because what's happening is these cycles of narcissistic abuse where people have to devalue our ability to reach a consensus. We're literally the second largest ethnic group here, single ethnic group here in
Tariq,
America.
can I
And
ask you
it's
a question?
literally our consensus that these
Saying it
people
loud
have
enough
been
and
able
long
to
enough
that.
does not
I
make you
knew this
correct.
was going to happen. It's not a dialogue, Free. This is my
I'm not
contribution to
talking
the
to you.
stage.
I'm talking to Tariq.
Okay, so if he
Shut
wants you to
up.
speak, he gonna let you know.
Right.
Am
You
I
are
am I
not the
disrespecting your
host.
space, Tariq? Because
Yeah, this
she said what you're
Can I
not going to
please
do
be able to
disgusting
finish,
tether, man.
Tariq?
Let her finish. Free,
All
let
right,
her finish.
land your plane,
Why would
please.
he not? I
Land
don't
your
have to do
plane.
anything you're talking about.
This
All
dude
right.
entitled
You
Well,
got
somebody
it.
else's
who the
You
space,
hell
got
are
bro.
it. You're gonna be
you?
Tether,
okay.
man.
And I knew this was going to happen. And then this is what I wanted to say to. First of all, let me finish what I'm saying.
Go ahead.
So these individuals are having a problem with the fact that we are reaching a consensus outside of them. So it's this
That's right.
perpetual gaslighting.
She's going in.
He needs to go find his own people and reach a consensus there, because this is narcissistic abuse where they literally are trying to act like they have just as much value
Yeah, she's
in
going
a
in.
conversation that determines outcomes about our collective as we do. And then when we literally come up with solutions by reaching a consensus, they want to get in the way now that it
Right.
doesn't serve them. When they
Right.
literally have always benefited from us being very effective in addressing and
Yeah, she's
remedying
going
our
in, yeah.
issues. So this is just very disingenuous conversation. And I want to say that I noticed that with other groups, you have to be careful of what you say in front of them, because they are oriented differently. So he may feel powerful to come amongst us and continue to assert this counterintelligence against our collective. That's why you have to be very careful. There has to be boundaries set, because you don't inform my perspective and you're not going to be able to superimpose your perspective on the space. It's just
Got
not going
it.
to
Got it.
happen.
Got it. Hey, Tariq, if
It's
I'm
not to him.
disrespecting your
I'm talking
space
to the
in
room. So
any
I don't need
way,
you to say
please let me
got it,
know.
Hold on,
got it.
Free.
Am I
You're
doing
being
that?
weird.
Yeah, this
Hold on,
disgusting
Free.
tether,
No,
yeah.
no, hold on,
But
Free.
I'm saying she thinks that
He
she can
thinks
say
I'm
something
talking
loud
to
enough and long
him.
enough.
He
It'll
thinks I'm
make it
Yeah.
talking
more
to him,
correct.
and he doesn't. I'm addressing a dichotomy. He thinks I'm
I
talking to
get
him,
I
and
get you learned a couple words
he doesn't
today. All
exist.
right,
He
listen, you
doesn't
pulled up
exist to
Nah,
the
me.
she
speaking
sounds
spell,
He
way
but
more
doesn't
educated than
exist
him.
to
Let me be
me.
real.
So him
Nah, I
antagonizing
could
me
tell
is
she's
just further proving my
I
okay,
point. He
could
was
tell
trying to
you've
speak.
made
she's
your
highly
point. Can
educated.
I now speak to
You're
Tariq?
not the host, so stop doing
I'm
that to me, you
talking to the
fucking
host.
weirdo.
You don't got to cry about it. It's okay.
I'm not crying, bro.
And
No
she
emotions
closed out
No,
about it.
pretty
It's
well.
just
yeah.
your voice
Weirdo.
has more bass
I
than
didn't
mine
use
does,
any
so I have
ad
to talk a little bit
hominems.
louder,
I
but
didn't
no
use
emotions
any
in
ad
it.
hominems on you
I made my point.
whatsoever.
I
And
I
made
yeah,
my
didn't make
she
point
fun of
void
went
of
in,
ad
y'all.
anybody.
hominem.
I'm
And
I
talking to
she
made my
sounds
Tariq.
point
way
void of
more
ad
educated than
hominems,
him.
and
Okay.
now I'm insulting you because you're passive aggressively
Okay.
disrespecting me by interrupting
Okay.
me.
Are
You
you
can
okay?
just mute it and then refute me when I'm done.
Are you
Okay,
good?
Duh.
slow down. Okay,
Do
here we go.
that.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, she
All right.
Good.
took to him.
Thank you, love. Okay, let me Free. Thank you, love. Thank you, love. I am. All right, let me get now Free
I gotta
finish.
find
Now,
her.
Free,
Damn.
you can respond to that, Free. Let me have Free, you can respond. Go ahead.
Again, I'm not trying to see consensus with anybody. I don't know where she is getting that from. I'm saying that any group in this country that wants to get something done where there isn't already broad consensus to get that thing done has to get consensus. You have to build coalitions. You
Coalition
can disagree.
Coalitions only work when there's a mutual benefit, not exploitation. See, a lot of y'all want to exploit us.
Well,
You
the way you get to mutual benefit in any negotiation is by going to the other side and saying, here's how this benefits you.
okay?
And here's how this benefits me.
Yo, he
And you
really
get to
thinks
some kind of synergy there.
they're
But you don't
Free,
go to
numerous
the
in this
other
country.
side and say, I don't care about your opinion. If you do that, then you get the vote that you get. But for
okay,
me, yeah, go ahead.
okay. Now let's talk about these coalitions that we've seen so far with foundational Black Americans and non-FBA melanated immigrants. Now,
Hmm.
there's a lot of benefits that you guys get from foundational Black Americans. Just
Right.
the fact that you get over here and get opportunities and get set-asides and benefits and rights. That's all from foundational Black Americans.
Right. What
That's
we get?
debatable. That's debatable, Tariq.
Debatable.
That's
Really?
debatable.
Oh,
I mean, that's
Debatable.
absolutely debatable.
how how did
I
No, no,
get
no,
that
no.
you
I'm
see
for
it
that.
that way, and I
no
get that. I mean, listen,
how,
Yeah,
when
this
you have
guy
a
said that's
niche kind of thing
debatable. Yeah,
going
these are
on,
some
I get that that
disrespectful,
is the center of the universe.
disgusting
oh
people, man.
Lord, how is that debatable? That's firm, locked in history. How is that debatable in any sense?
Go ahead, free.
Hmm? How is that debatable in any sense, Free?
Yeah, they don't want to give no flowers, yo. These disgusting,
Please unmute your microphone,
entitled,
sir. I would
privileged
love to
heathers.
hear this. How is
No,
that
no, no. I was muted by you, so I couldn't
okay?
unmute.
How
You
is
might have
that
double muted me.
debatable? How do y'all think y'all got over here?
What do you mean? How do we think?
How
I
do
mean, you're talking about a wide and diverse group of people. If you're talking, are you talking about people from the Caribbean?
any
Are you
black
talking about people from
Everybody
black
who wasn't
Africa?
here
Because
in large
Caribbean?
numbers
what I
before the
find
civil rights
interesting
movement,
is
full,
there are all kinds of immigrants coming over to this
and
country.
all of them
They're
benefit.
not all from Africa. They're not all
Don't
from the
matter. They all
Caribbean.
benefit.
There
Okay, let's
are
talk about the
mhm,
African Caribbeans. I'm talking about them. That's what I'm talking about.
They
You
all
and your
benefit.
family.
The
How do you
Chinese,
think your parents got over here?
on an
Mexican.
airplane.
Uh,
I mean, like, I don't, what do you? What, I don't.
See,
Are
now
you
he's
saying
being
that
disingenuous
immigration
now.
started after the civil rights movement?
no.
That was the first immigrants came to this nation after the civil rights movement,
See,
or has there
family,
always been a history of
family.
of
He's being
immigrants
disrespectful.
coming
No,
into
no.
this
The
country,
only immigrants that was
naturalizing and
allowed to come
becoming
over here
citizens?
freely were
And
the
what I find
Anglos,
interesting is the
Black
focus
or who
on.
was considered
Go ahead. Go
Anglos.
ahead.
quota for black ones.
I'm sorry.
There was a quota for black immigrants. They had a quota. They
And
weren't
whites,
letting black immigrants over here in large
and they had
numbers.
to act
That's
against
And when
why
did that
Asians.
quota end?
that quota ended in
1965, stupid.
1965.
Okay. So again, the people were immigrating over here prior to
No, it's small
1965.
numbers, and a lot of them
Uh-huh.
had to go.
Okay.
And
So
we were
so
that
mhm,
helping
go
them
ahead.
do. That's why Marcus Garvey. There was a movement to lift the immigration ban. They had an immigration ban in the early 1900s because a lot of black people were working on the Panama Canal and they wanted
He
to come
said,
here. And they were
"Black
like,
people, we
hell
gotta
no.
stop."
In Tuskegee, there was a
Oh,
grassroots
Tariq, stop
movement to say,
that,
no, no,
man.
no. Let's let some of them over.
That those black people talking about were Jamaicans. There's like 500,000, 700,000 Jamaicans. We gotta stop with this black stuff. Tariq doesn't know that he doesn't know he's muddying the waters. They're not black. That's why this dude has a leg to stand on already. he, he's saying black. He's talking about non-black Americans. You're saying black. You're talking about non-black Americans. Both of you guys are just not speaking accurately. No, they were not black. See, when Tariq left like that, when Tariq said blacks was in the Panama Canal, he would make you guys believe those are foundation black Americans. He didn't do it on purpose, but he doesn't know the argument. Like we're repoing black, man. We're gatekeeping. You can't say black blankly because the world and even us, we automatically think us. So let's just be accurate. No, Jamaicans were in the Panama Canal. Okay, let's be accurate.
We're not going to have that. And that's how Garvey was able to get over here. So we had been fighting to help immigrants get over here for the longest.
Yeah, but that you're saying that is the only factor that expanded immigration in this country. People have been immigrating into this country since this country.
See, and you guys know I say this all the time. I'm not an expert, but I do study the history of immigration. As a matter of fact, every so often, family, I try to study it over. You know, the major parts, in history is what I'm speaking about. And as far as the history of immigration in this country. Okay, so when he keeps saying the people, people, for me, he got to identify those people because he's just talking gibberish. What I do is I expose the ignorance coming from these tethers and people who oppose me. Period. I expose their ignorance, bro. What people? I know exactly who the quotas was against. Everybody not Anglo. Everybody not Anglo quotas and restrictions were for them. You got the Chinese Exclusion Act, I believe 1882 or 1884, one of those dates. Excluded. Mexicans got over here two ways. One, they were reclassified as white, and then the they had an operation called, I don't know if it's FBI, CIA, I forgot, but they had an operation called Operation Wetback. Well, it might have been somebody separate from those two organizations, but it was definitely called Operation Wetback, where they had them like doing some farming over here for a certain period of time. Okay, and a lot of these folks were not naturalized. So no, man, people coming. What people? Nobody, nobody non-Anglo was free, not in large numbers, and they were not naturalized. What are you talking about?
Has been a country that is the
No,
history of this country, and so to
no. Yeah,
now kind of like single out folks that look like you and say we're the only reason why you were able to immigrate into this country, that
they,
doesn't even stand a basic history test.
they have a racial quota, Free. There was a racial quota against black immigrants coming over here. That's a
O-
fact.
Okay, but these quotas and things like that have changed over time, and the civil
Why?
rights. I'm sorry.
Why they changed? Because we fought for them to change. That's what I'm saying. They weren't checking for y'all to come over here, sir. They didn't
Yeah,
want y'all
and
over
the
here. They didn't
average
want your
tether
parents over
believes
here,
that.
sir. That was us. Nope, you
The
can
What,
average
record.
what,
tether believes
or
white
did the
man want them
racial
over here.
quotas change because of enforcement of equal protection?
Yeah, look at this dude, yo. Yeah, oh my God, I would love to get my hands around this dude. Figuratively, you dig? Pause. Yeah, this guy's a mess.
Who fought for equal?
Can you say that again?
Who fought for that equal protection? That's what the civil rights movement was about. Equal protection of the law, equal application of the law. That's literally what the civil rights movement was.
Okay, so again, you're saying
He says,
that
okay.
directly now, post 1965, the only reason why any black people are over here is because specifically.
See, family, we gotta stop letting them say black people. We gotta stop. There's nobody black in Africa. There's nobody black in the islands. There's nobody black in South America, Central America. There's nobody black in Canada. There's nobody black in Mexico. The only black people are in America, and they have U.S. chattel slavery lineage. That's it. We got to stop letting them do that, man. That's causing the confusion. With that being established first and stripped away from him, this conversation goes so much easier.
Of the civil rights movement. And I'm saying that that is a feature that was built into the Constitution from the very beginning. Yes, black Americans did fight along with other people in the civil rights movement to have the United States government actually recognize what they wrote in the Constitution.
Other people like who?
Absolutely. But the fact that someone, let's say, came over here in the 80s is not 100% attributable to
Yeah,
the civil
this
rights
is a
movement.
piece
It's
of
not
shit
Yes,
chat,
it.
100%
bro.
attributable. So what?
Yeah,
How do you account for the people who came over here prior to that as immigrants?
yeah. First of all, like I just told you, in the early 1900s, we
They
were still fighting to get some of those
they
laws
came in
lifted because they
small
had these
numbers, man,
quotas
and a lot of them got
against
sent back.
African and Caribbeans. We were always fighting that. And they would let some trickle in. They would have to live among us anyway. We would have to
Yeah,
take
but
care
they
of
were
them.
not. A
You
lot of
couldn't
them were
live in
not
the
even
white
naturalized.
community. You were dealing with Jim Crow. So we had to look out for these people. You had to come in and live under us. And in the 1960s, we were the ones knocking that all the way down. We fought for our own
Yeah,
civil
how many of
rights
you
and we
guys
said we
like
want
he acting
everything to
like they
be
were
equal,
here? How
literally
many of you
all
guys
across
were
the
with us
board.
in the
And
civil
that means
rights movement?
immigration. So we took that same energy
The
and told
hell wrong
them,
with you, man?
change the immigration
The
laws,
fact you can only
and
name
they did
Kwame
that.
Ture
That's when
and
there was a floodgate of
Shirley
immigrants from
Chisholm
Africa and the
let you know how many
Caribbean
of you
coming
guys were
over.
actually here.
Those would be your parents, sir. So
Definitely
they
fighting on our
directly
behalf.
benefited from foundational Black Americans. Do you think white people just felt like, hey, let's let some
They think
Caribbean
that.
Negroes over here? That'll be all gravy. Did you
They
think
think
that's
that.
what happened?
So
Yes,
let's
they
say
do.
I agree with you on that. What is your therefore after that statement? Therefore,
Therefore,
your
Therefore, you're
opinion,
here, stupid.
your opinions on any given topic are subject to foundational Black Americans for
what we were,
for
we were talking,
eternity. Is basically what you're
hold on.
saying. Is that I don't understand what the therefore is.
The therefore is you talked about we need to
Here,
build
yeah.
coalitions. I told you we've already done a lot for your side of the fence.
Yeah, you're talking about the past. I'm talking about today.
I'm talking.
And here's where coalition building.
Y'all not gonna dismiss the past. The past is important. An hour ago was the past. That's not a good argument. Yeah, the past is important. My family and my ancestry, my foundational Black American lineage kicked those doors open. They went out here and got shot, ran down dogs, water hoses on them in order to help you too, sir. This is what I'm saying. My mama's still alive. My mama's from Alabama. They had to deal with all of that stuff, sir.
You're
Before
still not giving me a therefore.
listen, I'm giving you the answer. I want you to listen. Our families had to sit up here and fight to get you here. So that's not going to be dismissed like that. And you talked about the importance of coalitions. We've done enough and a lot for you. Where's the other side of the coalition? What have you done for us at all? Go.
Tariq, you're still not giving me a therefore.
What have you done for us in
That's not the argument on the table. The argument on the
oh yeah,
table is
yes.
we're talking about coalition building.
What have you done for us in this coalition? I just told you what we did. You said, oh, that's the past. Okay, what have you done in the past to help us? Oh, at any time, go.
I mean, you're gonna mute my mic and then hit me with the crickets. Come on, Tariq, you gotta be better than that. I run spaces, so I know how this works.
Sir, I'm not.
You know that, right? Like I run spaces, so I
You're
understand
not.
how this works.
Go ahead. Let's hear it. What have you done for us?
Yeah. So let me say, if you're gonna mute me and then throw the crickets on, you being disingenuous. Number one, we're talking about today. Let me give you an example. Let's
Okay,
say there's someone.
I'm muting you now. I want you to answer that question. What have you done today, yesterday, the day before, the month before, the year before, the decade before, the century before? What have y'all done, period, to help foundational Black Americans? You're not muted. Go.
I'm literally muted, man. You keep
You're not
muting
muted
me. It
now,
says
though.
muted by
Answer
oath,
the question,
and then you throw on the crickets,
free.
and then you throw on the
Go
crickets.
answer the
Frog.
question.
Point is,
Go ahead.
here's the question I have for you.
No,
If
no,
you want my
no,
vote, if
no,
you want my
No.
vote
No.
for a
We
no,
don't want your
particular
vote.
issue,
Just answer the
no,
question.
no. See, this is what I'm saying. You don't have an answer. Just say that. Let me get some more people in here. We're going to agree you don't have an answer. Let me get Cyber Regina in here. Then I get Brother McCall. Cyber Regina, go ahead, beloved. Cyber Regina, unmute your microphone, dear.
you gonna mute me and then say I don't have an answer.
And
That's
you
weak.
don't,
That's
'cause
weak, but it's good, man.
How many chances he gave you to answer? You never answered, bro. You don't have an answer. There is no answer. To be honest, there is no answer, bro. That was a rhetorical question. Your dumb self fell for it.
That's your space. You can do it, but you're gonna mute me and then say I don't have an answer.
because what you're not going to do is, well, let me ask you this. No. Either you answer the question or we're going to get some other people to come and call and talk to you. Cyber Regina, are you here, beloved?
I'm here.
'Cause
Good morning. How are you?
hey, beloved, how are you? We got Free here, ma'am. Go ahead.
Yeah, let me tell you what's going on with Free. And I've talked with another high-ranking Black conservative. We've talked about this. He is an anti-Black influencer. And right now, they have lost their steam and the grift is gone. So he's looking for another angle. Our ability to delineate and to be quiet during this entire event of deportation has been very, very powerful for us. The other thing is, Free, that you need to understand is you can say you're Black all you want, but two things have happened. One, the census has changed.
No. We don't want him to say he's Black all he wants. We want to let him know he's not Black at all. He became Black magically when he came into our country, the United States, and he's only Black by a form. Okay.
You now have to identify with. The other thing is, Free, that you need to understand is you can say you're Black all you want, but two things have happened. One, the census has changed. You now have to identify where you are originally from. It's no flat blackness anymore. Number two, you are not and will never be covered by the 14th
Yeah, but we don't want blackness there at all, though. But not for them.
Amendment. We don't even.
The next step is a petition to change black as a racial category, to change African American as a racial category, because as a dual usage, and that dual usage causes confusion. So we wanted just to say persons or people of African descent. Persons of African descent. POAD, POD. We wanted to say that person of African descent, and everybody say where they're from. Real simple. I haven't got a solution for that one.
Know if your two parents were legal when you were born, but that's going to be looked at. And you are deportable, we are not. So we don't need your vote, okay? We have the American people behind us. We have the president behind us. We have been here since the beginning of this country, before the beginning of this country, and we're still going to be here. We don't need you, okay? Now, you talk about that blackness has always been here since the beginning of time. No, in the 1828 American Dictionary, which, by the way, was formulated by a black man.
Yeah, but sis, I see where you're going, but this is the wrong argument. The right argument is, in what sense are you black? You're black by a description, a color, an adjective. An Indian, in that case, an Indian is black. A Samoan is black. No, they're not black. They're dark. They're melanated. Whatever expression you want to use, they're not black. Black is exclusive for Foundation Black Americans. It's an experience. It's the name of our ethnogenesis. It's the name of our ethnogenesis, and our ethnogenesis is a 400-year-old experience.
The definition of American is the copper-colored Americans found here when the Europeans came. Now also applied to the European Americans. And just a little correction, Jesse Jackson announced that we were African Americans at the 1988 Democratic Convention. But you see this all the way around. There's a Puerto Rican Congressman, Richie Torres, who is gay, and they're now saying that he's black. No, flat blackness is gone. You are, I don't know if you're Jamaican or whatever, that's the way you have to identify now. And if you don't believe this, go look up the census yourself. You're not one of us. You're not of our lineage. You're out there on your own. Good luck. Good riddance to bad rubbish is what I said.
There you go. Thank you so much, Beloved.
Good riddance to black.
Phone is cutting up. God damn. Anyway. Hold on. Yeah, so let me pause that right there. Anyway, so I'm gonna do a part 2 on this right here, as long as my phone holds up. Okay. Let me throw my Cash App in there. Getting a new phone was not in the plan anytime soon this year. All right, there's the Cash App. I'm gonna continue to do part 2 tomorrow on this. You dig? So thank you guys for pulling up. I hope you learned something. I hope you witness why it's a problem letting them tether on to the word black. We need to gatekeep it. When you start correcting them, you're not black. If you are, you're black in what sense? Because we know you're not black like us.